We'd like to begin with identification who's at the head table with me. We, of course, have head coach Bill Clark. Next to him, quarterback Tyler Johnston, followed by defensive back Chris Mall, and running back Spencer Brown. Coach, if you'll begin with an opening comment.
Yeah, first, just as I said out on the field, what a great job. Give tons of credit to Middle Tennessee and their staff, players. They played hard, classy, and I don't know if you could see a better contest between two teams from a fan's perspective. I don't know about coach's perspective always, but give them credit and great host to us. Everybody's been terrific to us. So 2 weeks in a row, I kind of feel like I know the place. So but give them a lot of credit for a great year and what a great job they did. One of the things for us was how do we handle, coming here last week and losing. And, I think when we clinched the West a few weeks ago, obviously that was such a huge deal for our program and our team. And, one of the big things we wanted to do was bring it back home and play in Birmingham. So, that loss last week was a big deal to us. We did, without making excuses, did have a bunch of guys that were banged up. But we got most of those guys back. But what a terrific game that just went back and forth, and we got down a little bit early and kept fighting, and then turned it around, and then they fought back there at the end, and then we had the big drive at the end and the stop. So just terrific game. So proud of our players. I really want to brag on our fans. What a great crowd we had, especially on a very questionable rainy day. Been an easy way today to stay home and just watch it on TV. So. The UAB fans are, all the folks that helped bring our program back, that invested in our program, but they've shown up. We've 2 years in a row. Well, I don't know about this year, but, last year led the conference in attendance. This year we're right up there. But thanks to them, thanks to these guys, players and coaches for all the hard work they put in for us. So thank you.
Thank you, Coach. We'll open the floor to questions at this time. Please raise your hand and we'll bring a microphone to you.
How you doing, Coach?
Hey.
What are your thoughts on the final penalty, the 12th man penalty, as well as Spencer's game not playing last week and then coming in and having one of his better games of the season in a championship moment?
Well, that penalty is things happen. Sometimes at the end of the game things happen, and there's a penalty here and there. There was a couple others that I didn't get that I thought I should have got. So, we were trying to get a first down, give them credit, getting the stop. And we've got a good running attack. So we were a little disappointed we were going to have to punt the ball back to them and give them back to, even though there was only a minute left. So obviously it was great to be able to come out there and get in victory formation at the end. Spencer, there was a question. We had to make a decision last week. He got banged up in the Texas A&M as Tyler did. And some of that's part of it. But, we hadn't had an open date really till all the way back. I think, it was after game 3, and you know that. And those things just take a toll on you. But that's, obviously it's an advantage for you when you have it. So whenever you have it, but having 9 straight weeks probably wore us on us a little bit. But being able to hold him out last week, which obviously hurt us in that game, but allowed him to be fresh for this game. And he ran like the guy we know he is. And obviously his O-line, the tight ends, had something to prove. Tyler did a great job. We mixed our run and our pass up. And but what a big night for him. What did he end up? What was the final yardage for him too? 157 against a really good defense. So yeah, so looked like him as I say when he turns it loose. But good night for him. Proud of him. Proud of that group that blocked for him.
Win Radio here. Coach, you were just speaking about the rushing attack, and I'm looking over the numbers. 54 rushes, 225 total yards, 157 by Spencer, and 73 by the quarterback. So would you say today was a day that they say football most of the time is won in the trenches. Seems like you guys won that battle today in the trenches.
No doubt. And I think one of the things when you're dealing with a big wind sometimes, and Lord, we're thinking we had not one but 2 starting receivers go down early. So give those guys that came in. We played with 4 receivers sometimes, but we lost to Boosie, on that? That was maybe in the opening drive or the second drive of the game, and then we lose Kalen Carter. So that was a big blow to us. So, maybe that's why we relied a little bit on the running game, maybe a little bit more. Thought our protection really for the most part all night was really good too, which is a problem last week. But, yeah, the O-line, the tight ends, they really blocked well. And then this guy beside me, along with some other running backs. We had some other running backs, and Tyler carried the ball as well. But, yeah, I think it was one up front, no doubt.
Coach Solomon Cruncher, Alabama News Center. You obviously got success from the offense. Talk to me a little bit about your defense being able to make the final stop there prior to that, in terms of being able to take control of that.
Yeah, I would, and of course I talk about Tony Franklin. I've known him forever, and just a lot of problems their offense presents. One, you've got I guess he's a fifth-year senior quarterback who's the son of the head coach. I mean, that's a big deal. That doesn't just happen. This guy is unbelievable. We were back there on him multiple times. I guess he's probably done this his whole career, and then he completes the ball. So their whole offense was tough to defend. We made the decision to go get lined up, and we dropped 8 guys a lot of time, which was not characteristic for us because we've led the country and been the top 5 in sacks all year. But we made a decision to drop Trey Crawford a lot, and I think that gave us gave him some problems. But they also gave him time to stand back there some. So we tried to mix it up. One of the things we did after they got their first down is we went back to our 4-man rush and played some man coverage, and that's when we took them 4 and out. But it was hard to do. Give them credit because they were changing personnel. They would go from 3 backs to 2 backs to a 10 look, and so it was hard to run our defense, our DB personnel out there. But I was proud of the defense, especially getting the stops when they needed to at the end.
Coach, what did you say in the locker room to your team after, when you guys walked off for celebration and, everything that you guys have gone through the past couple of years? We've seen it in Birmingham. Just for the players too, what does this moment mean to you and for the city of Birmingham?
Yeah, I mean, I think any championship is just huge. It takes so many people, and you got a team on the other side that wants a championship as well. So, but this is different. I mean, we talked about when we brought this group in. The joke was who was going to play in the movie. Because there's going to be a movie someday, and then it was, all right, how we want this movie to end. I mean, we needed to end it with a championship, and I think that was the question when we came back in January, and I kind of heard that a lot from. And I don't think people really meant it as bad maybe as I took it, but it was, okay, you kind of snuck up on people last year. What are you going to do this year, when they're expecting you? So, we took that personally in January, and we were talking about just going to our early morning workouts in January. And I mean, that's where teams are made. We decided then we were going to try for a championship. I mean, and that's the only way I know how to do it. And you set yourself up sometimes that you could fall short of that. But we've talked about it, we've worked for it, we've pushed. We try to take one game at a time. We've had some bumps in the road, which you do. But the big thing for me, and we talk about this, and I don't mean this hokey in any way. This is about building young men. I mean, that's what got me in it. I was a high school coach. My dad was a high school coach. And that's really what I want to see from them is taking these things and saying, okay, if I work really hard, if I believe in something, good things can happen. And that's what happened with this group. They believed in each other. I think the city of Birmingham and UAB, the people believed in this. I mean, we raised $50 million to bring our program back. So this is, this is a thank you to them too. All those people that really gave their own personal money to believe in us, to get us in a facility where we had a chance to compete. So, we had a great fan group come today, and I told our guys, I said, no offense to Middle. I said, but, we got as many fans as they did. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't, but it sure seemed like that. And having your band and your fans, when times, when times go down, that helps and picks you up. And that was definitely important today.
For Spencer, what was it like coming in today, having the kind of success you did after going through the decision last week not to play, as well as having that 30-yard run near the end of the game that set your team up and gave them a position to be successful and come away with a go-ahead score on Vogel's field goal?
Well, I knew last week I was hurt, so I had to sit out, to put our team in a better position to win. But this game, I knew I had to take it a play at a time. We had to take it a play at a time, stay as a family, fight against adversity. And then at the end of the day, that run at the end, it just happened, and then it put us in a position to score and take the lead, and then we ended up winning the game.
Coach, Joel Barker from the Murfreesboro Voice. So specifically the second quarter, I know personnel obviously between last week and this week was different, but specifically in that second quarter when you scored in bunches, what was different schematically? How did you approach that I guess, from last week?
Yeah, I think one of our big things going into last week was we wanted to be in two tight ends. And I really don't want this to sound like an excuse, but we had a guard get hurt during the week, which never happens. We were at our third string center. Then we get our right guard gets food poisoning, and then our tackle gets kicked out in the second quarter for elbowing a guy in the head. So we really didn't feel like that was us where we could run the ball like we wanted. And I think that was kind of our plan going in, and that just kind of changed a lot of things. And then not having Spencer, I mean, that's a big deal, not having your best running back. So we just said, let's get back and be who we are. And we think that, I mean, that's a strength for us. We've been on top of our conference in the nation running the ball. And we thought there was some pass plays there. The win, I don't, was it going to play a factor or not? But, that also was we felt like we had a great win plan, rain plan, which, it was about 90 to 100% early in the week. So I think that fit who we are, kind of the mindset we had going in. And really that's kind of where we were looking last week. And then we had all those things happen, and we just kind of continued where we were, what we were going to do anyway.
This question's for Chris. Being on the defensive side of the ball and being up most of the first half and starting in the third quarter, what was the mentality like once you guys got down by one and knowing that you guys had fought so hard to keep the lead, now you had lost it? What was the conversations like in those huddles and on the sideline trying to get everybody to lock in and make sure you guys didn't give up another touchdown?
Really, we just knew that we had to finish this game if we wanted to win, and we knew it was going to come down to us if we wanted to win. So we knew that the offense was going to keep rolling and keep relying on us. So we just said, let's strap up and play.
We'll stay with you, Chris. Earlier this year, you've made some really big, explosive plays, had fumble returns and whatnot. But tonight, you just racked up the tackles. So what was it like, instead of making the big plays, but being more consistent and just being there at the right time, at the right spot for the duration of the game?
Really, it was just the coaches and putting us in the right positions and calling the right plays and just executing the play. And we knew we just had to make sure we was tackling and make sure we were doing our job. Everything would fall into place.
Tyler, talk to us a little bit about your mindset, particularly having Spencer and a greater complement of your offense available to you as you guys came out there today.
I mean, you got Spencer in the backfield. It feels great. I would say a big shout out to O-line too for staying together and all of them staying strong, as in we're getting beat at one point and just keep going. I mean, we just got to go play by play. And, I mean, Spencer running the ball, he did great. And the wide receivers, when we needed them, they did great too. So, I mean, it was a great night.
Folks, we have time for just one more question. If you have a question, please speak up at this time. All right, Coach, thank you so much. Players, thank you for being here today. And, folks, that concludes today's press conference for the 2018 Globe Life Conference USA Football Championship.